All right, good afternoon. This is Sarita Edwards, Secretary from Madison City Council of PTAs, and joining me this afternoon is John Seifert, the incumbent for Madison City Council District 7. Thank you so much, John, for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So we're going to just jump right in and just ask you a few questions on behalf of the Madison City PTA.
Okay.
So first question is, what specific issue or reason motivates you to serve on the city council?
Not really, I guess an issue, but more of a reason is I've always had a feeling or a calling to serve for a higher purpose. And, 4 years ago, I felt led to throw my hat in the ring and obviously our city has several issues with lack of commercial development that helps in tax revenue to be able to provide services like road expansions and repaving and various quality of life things that we would certainly want to have and need to have. And so rather than complaining about it, I threw my hat in the ring and said, what can I do to help? And also with my 11-year-old son, I want to try and teach him that, rather than complain about problems, try to be part of the solution. So from that standpoint, I threw my hat in the ring 4 years ago, and from where we're at now, I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish over the past 4 years, with 10% plus revenue growth from year to year, and being able to do various economic development projects throughout the town with Town Madison, the downtown redevelopment we've done, and various other things that are in the hopper, plus Palmer Park expansion and renovations that are currently underway, as well as some things we've done in Dublin that allow us to invest in our kids, which are our future. And then the support that I feel that we've been able to do from the schools, as well as road improvements that we've done around town. So I'm very proud of those things, and I think there's a lot more there that we can do, and want to be able to continue doing that as we move forward.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Second question. So what is your strategy to ensure city growth aligns with the long-term vision and keeps pace with our resources?
Right. So I think our strategy is one that we've actually implemented over the past 4 years. We developed a growth policy that very clearly outlines several litmus tests for cases where we would annex land, which primarily would be to the west of us, west of county line. Areas where we might rezone land from, say, industrial to commercial or industrial to residential, and those things, is to really align and follow that growth policy that we developed in conjunction with the schools, with the school board, to make sure that we follow that. I think we've done a good job of following that. I actually will use the Kaiser Boulevard development. I believe that was a very good case where we followed that from the standpoint we actually rezoned industrial land to residential, but followed our growth policy, and were able to get the developer to invest in road infrastructure that's actually reduced wear and tear on our buses that go in and out of the tank barn on Westchester. What they're able to do, as well as investing in walkability and connecting our greenway to downtown Madison, which will have park renovations of Home Place Park and improvements in that area, which will also be a good benefit to those folks that like to enjoy Friday night football once we're able to get back to that. But I think it's just really following that plan, and I think my role in that, I was on planning commission and actually led the initial votes to turn that development down prior to it coming to council, which allowed us to work with the developer in a development agreement that enabled the city to work with them to achieve some of those benefits that help the city, and at the same time work with that developer to help ensure that the product they're bringing are products that would not bear additional burden on our schools, and products that would not bring a bunch of kids without the infrastructure. So I really think, just getting back to the root of your question, it's the growth policy that we've implemented, and continuing to follow that, and continuing to hold our developers accountable, and work in development agreements to make sure that we grow in a predictable rate, which we haven't been able to do in the past, and follow those agreements and that growth policy as we move forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So how would you ensure our schools are resourced for success?
I think the biggest thing there is working hand in hand with our school board. From the standpoint of the city actually providing resources for the schools and those things, it's actually out of the purview of the city. However, we do and can support our school system, as a lot of us do. I know I do, both from a council and personal standpoint. My wife is an educator at Rainbow Elementary, and so I make sure that I'm up there as much as I can. My son is now at Liberty, and make sure that we support there as much as we can. But I think from the city standpoint, it is ensuring that we can provide them the support needed, whether it be like we did in previous 4 years of providing the needed support and resolution to get the state to put a referendum on the ballot for property tax, or other things where we could go down and work together to lobby and influence our representatives from a funding standpoint of instead of funding our schools from the arrears in education population, that we could do something different there. So, and I don't know exactly what all the answers are to that and the different options, but I think those are things that we will certainly be glad to support and help. But those are things that we actually need the school board to lead that charge in those areas. But I think those are things that we can do to help make sure that they're resourced correctly, and that the schools get all the additional funds or resources they need in order to make sure our teachers have what they need for our children to be successful, or have the best opportunity to be successful.
Right. Awesome. Very last question.
Yes, ma'am.
What message do you have for our Madison families during this unusual time in history?
Don't lose hope. It's tough. As the husband of an educator and the father of a new sixth grader at a middle school, it's tough. It's scary. Technology is tough. We've seen it with this call, right? But the biggest thing is don't lose hope. Nobody's been through this before. We're all trying to figure this out. Be a part of the solution. Don't be a part of the problem. If there's an issue, bring it forward. Likely you're not the only one seeing it. Let somebody know, and just work with folks. Be patient. We're trying to figure all this out. Everybody is. Dr. Nichols is doing, I think, the best he can do. The school board's doing the best. All those teachers, they're all doing the best they can to try and educate and help our children, because really they're not in a career. And I firmly believe this. The teachers are called to this career because they certainly aren't paid for it. And just be patient. Try and help and offer a loving word, kind word as much as you can, and just be patient. And we'll get there. We'll get there. Before you know it, we will all be back in school. We'll be back at Friday night football games, sporting events, concerts, you name it. We'll be there, and we'll look back on this and go, you know what? It might have been tough, but we learned this or that. We were able to spend more time together as a family. We were able to slow down, really focus on what's important in some areas. And I think the biggest thing is just slow down, just be patient. And our best years are in front of us,
Yeah.
and we're going to get there. So just
Awesome.
don't lose hope, be patient, think positive.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you so much for spending this time with us this afternoon. And so right now we're going to stop the recording.
Okay.